It's not just localized anymore. We're competing on a global level. And, there's a debate going on about whether or not people will continue to work from home, right? Everybody's like, the pandemic gave us an opportunity to work from home. It gave us an opportunity for companies to see that it was possible for people to work from home. And sometimes this is a good thing, and sometimes it's a bad thing, because you gotta sit up there and you gotta think, you want to do what's in your own best interest, and you want to make sure that when you ask for something, because sometimes we ask for something and we don't realize it because we think it's such a great thing, but we ask for something and we get it and we realize in the end that wasn't a great thing to ask for. That wasn't something that in the end really benefited us. Because think about this. We live in a globalized world, and we live in a world, in a country that, because it's becoming increasingly globalized, that you're not just competing with a company that's American. You're competing with companies that are all over the world that can do the same thing you can do. And every business and every corporation is always trying to get somebody to do the same thing that somebody else can do, but just do it cheaper. And that's how we became globalized, right? Because you can sit there and say, well, I can get my manufacturing done in China cheaper. I can have an IT department in India cheaper than I can have an IT department in the US. I can have a call center in India cheaper than I can have a call center in the US. So globalization came about as a result of trying to do the same thing that we used to do, but just do the same thing in a cheaper way. Outsourcing, right? Outsourcing became a popular strategy in corporate America. Now think about this for a second. They figure out you can do your job from home. Now, because you can do this job from home and a lot of people want to work from home, they start negotiating salaries, and they start negotiating from a standpoint of, I want to be at home and I want to be able to do this thing from home. Well, it's great at first, right? It's great. It's a great thing because the worker is empowered. During coming out of the pandemic, stock market's at an all-time high. A lot of people retiring. The people that are left over, a lot of these corporations. And when people are retiring in this baby boomer generation, it ain't just 1 or 2 people retiring. It's like you got 4 or 5 people retiring at the same time, or 10 people out of an organization retiring at the same time. It's like out of the blue, these corporations are kind of caught backpedaling because so many people are leaving and they're taking so much knowledge and know-how with them. And so you find yourself in a situation where you're at home and you're working, but if you can do your job from home and all I need is a computer, then what you've in essence done, you've increased your own competition. Because now, where your company thought that they would only have to be able to hire somebody local that they could get into the office, the more they practice with you never touching the office, never coming into the office, the more they realize that job can actually be done by somebody and they can actually pay somebody less. Because if you are saying, hey, I got this skill set, I'm a knowledge worker, you need me right now, then as long as it ain't nobody in Indonesia or it ain't nobody in India or some other country that can do the same thing you can do, then you're fine. But if you got a position, you got to be honest with yourself. Yeah, if you can do that job from your house, then by all means do that job from your house. But if it's a job that anybody can do, then you need to take your butt to that office.